This is Sound Off 60, Southwest Louisiana's premier sports show.
Moon may be over. You tell us.
Right.
How does Ed Orgeron handle that immense pressure in college football to win, and of course, what comes being the LSU head coach?
You understand the expectations of LSU. I have the same expectation of myself and my staff.
Yeah.
I've been at Miami. I've been at USC where you expected to win. That's the reason I wanted the job.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Merchants and Farmers Bank, where your future is our history. Here are the guys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
It is going to be a rip-roaring fun hour of Sound Off 60 this week. Ask me why, Hobbs.
Me.
No, it's not because of you.
No. Let me answer.
Please.
Because we have Jim Gazzola instead of Kevin Guidry.
Instead of Kevin Guidry. We love Guidry. We love him. But it's hard keeping him on track. It's hard keeping his questions down to 3 minutes when he gets on a rant. But
I
anyway,
love Kevin. I might get a word in
you
tonight.
might get one or two. Anyway, we want to welcome Jim Gazzola, our rotating guest host, in from CBS Channel 17, and a former colleague.
Former colleague of mine. I wish he still was.
Yes,
but
exemplary columnist.
I feel the same way every day.
All right, guys, packed show. In the fourth chair tonight, former LSU, former Barb, SMU star Trey Quinn is with us to talk about the upcoming NFL draft. Are we ready for Mr. Quinn, and are we ready for draft week? I am. Are you?
Yeah.
It's a big week.
I kind of like the draft.
I love the draft. I love the draft.
I almost think it's gotten too big for its britches, but in its purest form, I enjoy the draft.
It is. You with us? Are you with us? Or you hurt? You're searching for the mic.
I lost my mic.
This is live on tape, so you get strapped up, and we'll get it going. The reason why I love the draft, so especially years when you've got all these storylines and quarterbacks. The quarterbacks always add the drama and the subplots. And what a year this year. You got 4, maybe even 5 if you include Lamar Jackson, the former
maybe
Heisman
6.
Trophy.
Don't forget about Mason Rudolph.
I kind of forgot about Mason
There's
Rudolph.
some who like him more than like Jackson.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want.
A bit of a fringe guy. And you could probably find 2 or 3 more. This is heavy on quarterbacks. I don't know if they're all had the talent to play in the NFL. We'll find out.
Well, the ones they keep talking about in the first round, too.
Yeah.
They all seem to have the one little flaw everybody's concerned about, or
Let's be realistic. Whoever goes to Cleveland's going to be a bust, right?
oh, we know that.
Oh, my
We know that
God.
going
No, don't
in.
do that to them. Don't do that to them because they've had busts going.
I've often wondered, if you're one of those guys, and we may ask Trey Quinn about it when we have him on later. Would the prestige of being the #1 overall pick balance with going with a team that is ruined #1 picks? I mean,
I know where you're going, and Cleveland fits right into that. So I don't know, but something tells me if we watch the coverage for 3 days, especially when it comes to the quarterbacks, we're going to hear references, fair or not, of Ryan Leaf, RG3, Jamarcus Russell. All right, and there's probably 1 or 2 more. Johnny Manziel.
There's a
the correlation to Baker Mayfield. We're going to hear it.
Don't forget Eric Couch.
There you go,
Eric
with Cleveland,
Couch,
okay? Former Kentucky quarterback. All right, so we're going to hear some of that. We're going to run through the gamut of the NFL because we got the Saints to talk about. And will this be an easier year for the Saints? We'll see. Got 8 picks in like 7 rounds. We'll talk about the NFL draft in total with all the quarterbacks and how does Barkley fall into that whole thing. We got Trey Quinn coming up for a couple segments, so we got a lot to talk about. Some baseball down the line and 1 or 2 things I may be forgetting already. But LSU spring game, we got it in and it's played. What can you tell us?
It's over. That's not one of my favorite days of the year. I mean, spring football, it looked like every spring football game I have ever seen, which is sloppy and...
Was there a new question that needs to be answered? Or just the old ones are still hanging out there?
Quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback.
I mean, based on the spring game, Justin McMillan clearly played the best of the 3 of them. I'm not sure that's good or bad. I didn't come away with it thinking, oh, there's an all-SEC quarterback. Where did he come from?
Yeah.
I was a little more disappointed, I guess, in the play of Miles Brennan. I mean, it wasn't awful, but just didn't stand out. In fairness, I don't know how the offenses really do much in the spring game. I mean, I can remember back in the dark ages, in August even, back in the dark ages when they let the media go to scrimmages, I'd go to LSU's last scrimmage of the year, and I'd always come away thinking, Jesus, these guys may not win a game this year.
Yeah.
And then, 10 days later, they open the season, and it looks totally different.
Yeah, look, Jim, we haven't seen you in a bit, but every time you're here, I think I ask you the same question about LSU quarterbacks, and here we are again.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing
exists.
But the interesting thing is, let me tie it into our main topic of this week's show is the NFL draft. Danny Etling is in the draft.
He'll be in somebody's camp.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know if he could draft. He did go to the combine.
And look, he was at the combine. He was on a show on ESPN, some kind of, whatever you call it,
well, the
drills
question
thing,
the
talent
question you
show or
have,
something.
I promise you one thing, after watching Saturday, LSU wish they had him back.
Get him back.
the question you always have with LSU is, where's the development?
Yes.
Where's the improvement? Where's the development? Is anybody going to step up at quarterback in the next 5 months to take control of the offense? And is it the type of offense a quarterback can control? Because it doesn't seem to be a quarterback interest offense. They seem to make that a secondary thing. You look at all the other college football teams, with the exception of a couple, and they rotate around spread offenses, quarterbacks, and a pass rush.
Right.
And that's it. LSU doesn't do it. Alabama doesn't do it.
I'm going to put you on the spot, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Who works with LSU quarterbacks?
Well, now, for the first year now, it's Steve Ensminger.
Okay, Ensminger, who used to play quarterback.
Yeah.
And
I think
Cam Cameron? Did
he'll
Cam
do-
Cameron work with quarterbacks?
Yes, he
Okay.
did.
Didn't do it very well, apparently,
And I think Ensminger will. I think he'll be fine coaching quarterbacks.
So the question is talent. Is there talent there? And it's young. In fairness,
It's young. But also,
Well,
what
and
not a lot
I
of
have,
experience.
What comes
I
to the
have
door?
always, pleaded caution not to overreact and overanalyze a damn spring game.
I know that, but I'm not just talking about
by
the spring.
design, they're not, real efficient looking.
It's a 5-month process right now at opening day. Let's see if anybody can be developed in that time. That's the key. What's the offense going to be? They have a new offense again. So now you're into, if you were there a year before, you're into your second offense, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So if you've been there 2 years, now you're into your third offensive coordinator, third offense. It takes time to develop that.
Look, as we go to break.
And they were playing without both starting tackles.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I saw your coverage. You're right about that. As we go to break and get ready for Trey Quinn, it is talent, but I don't know if anybody outside of Nick Saban and his staff in Alabama knew the talent and the kid that came off the bench, Tua. I'm just going to call it Tua.
Oh, yeah, you did, if you read about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
he
but
was,
come on.
Wasn't he the
He was
number
the
one
biggest
quarterback?
I know
number
that,
one
but
player.
I don't think anybody knew he could perform that way in the national championship game. Let's not be naive. So what I'm saying is maybe they know more than we do in regards to Brennan, Narcisse, or McMillan.
But the greatness of that game was he was quick to pull a trigger on a guy.
Yes.
And we saw a couple of years ago where Les Miles didn't pull a trigger on a guy.
You're right.
That's
You're right.
absolutely
All right.
Let me say this. For you.
Go ahead.
I even tried to zero in on individuals a little bit, which I normally don't do. I don't think I'm that smart.
Right.
But I think LSU will be fine defensively next year.
yes.
I think they'll be much better defensively than they were last year.
Okay.
Just like, just because of the depth they'll have in the front
All
seven.
right.
And
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine.
Offensive line, running back, and quarterback still on that side of the ball. But, hey, as we go to break, that Alabama quarterback, Tua, he was a true freshman, was he not?
Yes.
Was he not?
Yes.
Okay. I don't care what you read about him coming out of wherever he came out of. Nobody knew he could perform like that.
Oh, I agree with you.
Other
there.
than the Alabama staff and some of their players. Come on.
Nick Saban
Jim.
probably knew.
What didn't Saban say later that he had considered yanking, or maybe, what was it, the Auburn game they had lost before then?
We're talking national championship game, gentlemen. All right, short pause. We're going to pivot in basketball terms Former Barb star Trey Quinn getting ready for the NFL draft this week. He's coming up next, so stay right here. Don't go far.
Soundoff60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort.
For nearly 85 years, Merchants and Farmers Bank has provided dependable personal banking for Central and Southwest Louisiana. I saw your new boat last week, Chuck. Looks like fun. We have 8 convenient locations, checking and savings accounts, online bill pay, mortgage and personal loans, even a new app that allows you to take a picture of your paycheck and deposit it. Can't wait to see your kitchen remodel, Pam. Come in today to open a personal account. Merchants and Farmers, your future begins with our history.
You don't have to sacrifice taste to stay in the game. Miller Lite, always brewed to have more taste and be less filling. Miller Lite, hold true.
On or off the field, training and experience matter. As a board-certified and fellowship-trained surgeon, Dr. Brett Cassio has the training and experience to help you get back in the game. Award-winning research, the latest orthopedic techniques, right here at home. Cassio Sports Medicine.
Only one light beer has more taste, less calories, and half the carbs. This one. Miller Lite. Hold true.
All right, welcome back to Soundoff60. Round 1 is in the books. Here we go with round 2 with former Barb star, LSU, SMU, and our homeboy Trey Quinn is back in studio and on the 4th chair tonight to talk about the NFL draft. We're glad to have you, and I know it's a busy time for you. Top of my head, how do we, before you get drafted, when you will be drafted, how do you want us to talk to you? I mean, do you rather former Barb star, LSU, SMU?
Seems like I've been everywhere, man.
I know, or just Lake Charles is.
I think just Lake Charles is good
South
enough
like
for me,
it.
man.
About South Lake Charles.
South
You gotta
Lake,
throw
we
that
can
in
narrow it
there,
down to
too.
that. All right,
12-year-olds.
we appreciate you coming in. Is this the biggest week of your sports life?
Ooh, that's a good question. If you're comparing it to everything else I've kind of been through, but I'd say it is so far, just as far as winning the day and what's next. You always focus about what's in the future and stuff, but this is kind of been my job opportunity and what I've been reaching towards my whole life. So I think it's hard to compare it to other things in my life, but I'd say yes.
Pretty huge.
For sure.
Pretty huge.
I think the last time you were on here, I don't believe you had made up your mind to declare for the draft.
Y'all tried to get it out of me, though.
Yeah, we tried.
I know.
Well, we tried hard.
All right, you hear people all the time say, "Oh, I will talk with this, I'll talk with family, blah, blah." What exactly did go into that, and what led to the final decision?
I think that I kind of had an idea once I started really rolling in the season. I had the success, and I think I put on tape what I knew I could do and what I needed to show to professional scouts and the teams that could potentially draft me later. I think that was huge. Obviously, Coach Morris going to Arkansas, it would have been tough to come back without him being there, because that's the sole reason I went to SMU, to be honest. So seeing that staff leave, and then my dad is always by my side, my grandfather's always by my side, and they've been through or seen kind of this process, especially my grandfather, and kind of all in all decided it was time to take that next step and get a job.
Did you feel like there was nothing left to prove in college? You had the one big year, had kind of proven all the doubters from the LSU days wrong?
I think that this past year was huge for me as far as showing what I could do and finally getting that opportunity to do that. And I've got some people saying he's a one-hit wonder and stuff. I'm like, I've done it my whole life. I just needed the opportunity at SMU from Coach Morris that he provided to me, and I took full advantage of it, and that's what I'm going to do in the NFL.
Lake Charles's Trey Quinn has joined us here at Soundoff60 to talk about the NFL draft, which starts on Thursday from Jerry's World, Arlington, Texas, up in, near Dallas. Big week. You're going to get drafted. There's a lot of mock drafts, all that stuff. But let's start kind of keep it in chronological order. You did some work after making the decision out in California, out in West, getting really juiced up and ready to go.
Right.
Let's fast forward there to the NFL Combine. What was it like? What did you do? What was your impressions, and how did you fare in the overall in preparation for the draft?
I think what people get mistaken is they watch the day of everybody running and jumping and stuff, but there's 3 or 4 days before that where you're in and out of hospitals, meeting with various teams, sometimes for 3-4 hours. You're up at 6 in the morning, you're in bed at 12.
Wow.
You know, it just drains you, and then the last day is you go out there and compete. But it was a fun process, just being around, you know, the elite of the elite, especially in my age group, and then really getting to talk with guys like Wes Welker and people I've watched like growing up. It was awesome. You know, I met Reggie Wayne, just all those guys that I looked up to. It was cool being around that atmosphere for the first time.
Yeah, but it seems like I heard more about that this year. That what a grind it is on the players,
right,
you know, that are going through this. Did you get any of the goofy questions?
I didn't really get too many goofy questions like I guess you see like guys got asked and stuff. I had like, are you a dog or a cat? I think they want you to say a dog, you know, obviously, but
you figured that one out.
Yeah, right.
We don't want any cats.
I thought about it. I'm like, well, tiger's a cat, you know, so, lion, but nothing too goofy and out of the ordinary.
Was there a point in time that the off year, the sitting out the 1 year, made such a big difference for you?
I think that was the biggest year of my life so far. Is just I had to take a step as a man to be able to deal with that big of adversity, because I love football. Like, that is the one thing that I just love to do, and it was taken away from me for, you know, let's just say a year, and I had to find a way around it, you know, mentally and really physically, was for me to just go out there and catch tons of ball, which I've said on the show before. It was my out from football was more football, so it was huge for me, and I think I made huge steps on the field, which I don't think I would have made if I would have been playing that year.
Trey Quinn, former Barb High School star, still holds that high school record, right? From
somehow.
Most receiving yards
somehow.
ever.
I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there.
Well, let's hope it stays for a little bit. Trey Quinn has talked to us about, you know, it really is going to be the biggest week of your life in preparation and waiting around for the NFL draft. As you said, next step in your road to your career path, if you will. It's next chapter, I guess. Back to the NFL Combine and meeting with teams. Did you get, and I know, look, you know, we all know, we've been through this. The teams, who they talk to and what they say, a lot of it's bluster, a lot of it's, you know, but sitting down and talking to teams or talking to GM or personnel guys, did you get any inkling that, man, there's some real interest there, or you just tried to divorce yourself of that?
I think that you can't buy into it too much, because there's been so many stories that I've heard throughout the process. Is like you may be expecting the last day and somebody picks you up just because they love you in the third round.
Yeah.
It's really about just trying to find somebody that just falls in love with you, and they could pick you as soon as they want.
Right.
You know, obviously, I don't think Thursday's going to happen as far as the first round, and I think I'm just as good as those guys that are going to go in the first round. But you know, it's really just scattered throughout. I've got a lot of reports just scattered throughout the whole draft. So I'm hoping for Thursday. If not, we'll fall on a Saturday and celebrate and have fun regardless. But it's really about what happens when you get to their facility, and that's when I really show who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? I've never quite figured this out either. I mean, you trained as a college football player for 4 years, and then somewhere out in California you go to train for the combine.
Right.
What did they teach you out there that you didn't learn at 2 different schools in 4 years?
Right. No, that's a good question. So I was out at Exos in San Diego, or Carlsbad, California, and they're experts in combine training. Aside from
specifically for the combine.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, we still did football stuff. We had our own guy. My guy actually played for the Packers when they won their last Super Bowl. So we'd still do football stuff, teaching me routes, getting me prepped for the routes I have to run at the combine. Other than that, it's 2 days of we'll work 40 starts in just a 40 in the morning, and then maybe like the starts in the afternoon along with other weightlifting stuff. Then work on shuttles. They just have specific techniques as far as how they want the race ran.
Well, let me follow that up. Do you think it made you a better football player or a better combine guy?
So what we did prepping for the combine, as far as the 40 and the shuttles, I don't think it has anything to do with me being a football player. However, because I was working football skills still with the guy that used to play for the Packers, I did pick up on a lot of just route running stuff that he learned in the league. So from actually performing routes on the field and whatnot, I learned from that, but not necessarily like the 40 and the shuttle and stuff like that.
Do you think guys like yourself or quarterbacks that come from the, quote unquote the systems, and we hear the system, it makes the guy have to prove themselves more at a combine?
That's a really good question because I've got the critics saying he doesn't run the full route tree, but I was at LSU where he ran 1 through 9 route tree, like the professional route tree that they ran. So I've been in both offenses. I started as a freshman at LSU. You can't do that without beating Tre'Davious White, Jalen Mills, guys like that. So I think I've proven that I could be in that pro-style offense, and then obviously needed that opportunity with Coach Morrison, kind of the more open gunslinging offense where I could show what I could do after I got the ball.
Does it make you ready for either way in the NFL then?
Oh yeah, it was cool because I was getting taught the pro style, I guess, when I was in Indy or these other meetings that I have, and I was like, I remember this. I'm picking it up from LSU days and Coach Cameron, and so it's really cool that what I've learned 4 years ago, I'm able to just tie it to something like that and remember it that much.
So what you're saying?
Hold it there. Let's take a break.
Okay.
Let's give him a break. We're going to take a short pause. Come back with more with Trey Quinn. We'll get into the NFL draft in regards to maybe a gut check in regards to where you think you might go, teams, players, and I want to get into a little bit of your characteristics and how it will translate, if you will, into the NFL. All right, we'll take a short pause. We're coming back with more with Trey Quinn right here at soundoff60. Stay right.
soundoff60 is presented by Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at La Berge Casino Resort. Check us out online at soundoff60tv.com.
Enjoy a more reliable, responsible, intelligent, and connected indoor environment that easily adjusts to your preferences, no matter where you are. Uncompromising, unmistakable. Luxair. Get connected with a Luxair dealer near you by visiting luxair.com/solar supply.
Let's talk about funerals of the happy variety. See, back in the 70s, there were folks in Austin who liked music and Shinerbach. Trouble was, there wasn't always a delivery truck for Shinerbach. But there was a hippie man with a funeral car. Wisdom would say, don't put the fate of your beer in the hands of delivery hippies with hearses. Then again, wisdom does not drink.
All right, welcome back, boys and girls. We're our second part of our conversation with former LSU SMU Lake Charles' Trey Quinn. Boy, we can identify you as just a good guy. Good guy getting ready for the NFL draft this week. On Thursday, it starts up in Dallas. Trey, it's been a long road for you. This has got to be an exciting week waiting for this NFL draft. Is there some number that you think that, this is where I'm going to go? I'm sure you maybe played around with some mock drafts and studied some guys, or maybe you didn't. I don't know. But is there around? And is there a team? How about a loaded question?
Yeah, there's no telling, man. There's no telling. Like I said, I'd like to go in the first round if I could just come out here and say I'm going in the first round. But obviously it doesn't work like that. But yeah, I've seen anywhere from 3 to even undrafted, which obviously I think I'm way better than a player than that projection. But I'm really wanting to get into that second day, and I think I proved myself to get in that second day. But really, with my, I guess what I bring to the table, it's kind of all over the place because I'm not a prototypical 6'4" Julio Jones guy that's going to go in the first round. But I'm not the 5'8" slot guy that may go undrafted. I think I'm right in between, and that's kind of where I've heard in the draft as far as in between, first and last.
Yeah.
It sounded like when you were talking about, having to overcome the system at SMU or the stereotype of coming out of that system. It may sound strange to people. It sounds like that when you get to the NFL, it will be more like the offense everybody complains about at LSU. Is that right?
I think, well, maybe not. You don't see the plays on Saturday that we learned, but hey, it's very similar the way that they were teaching to me. It's a lot of the plays that I learned at LSU showed up. And granted, we ran a lot of it at SMU as well, but just the style of learning and the style, I guess the verbiage that we used at LSU is very similar to what I've been learning over the past 3-4 months.
This is pro football, so there's a financial benefit to it. And every draft pick, money goes down. But every draft pick, money goes down.
Right.
How much pressure is that as the job interview process is, knowing that so much of what you will make depends on how you answer questions, how you react to that combine week?
Right. I think I'd just get up there and talk normal. I was raised, around this Lake Charles area, which is, top class people, and really just get up there and talk. They want to know what kind of guy I am, and I think I showed them that I'm a guy. I keep clean and all that stuff, and then they want to know what kind of football I know, and I think that's when I really hit the nail on the head right there. Is I've been around football. I was around McNeese since I could remember. Running around on a football field every Saturday night. So I was able to show them that I could just regurgitate what they just told me as far as football play. I kind of showed them everything that I could do through simple stuff like that.
Former SMU wide receiver Trey Quinn has joined us on soundoff60. We're getting ready for the NFL draft and kind of picking his brain a little bit in regards to where this draft is going to hold for you. Some of the things that you pick up in some of the online reports, because what did you say right at the start? I mean, this draft thing is just, it's like a mega business. You got all these websites, all these mock drafts, everybody analyzing every player that possibly can go in the NFL draft. I mean, the stats on you, Trent, is like 74% completion ratio in regards to targets, this, that, and the other. The numbers that you put up at SMU, you had your cohorts, Cortland Sutton, did extreme numbers on the other side. He could possibly be a mid to, three-quarter first-round selection, that whole thing. One of the things I found interesting is that hand strength. Remember quarterbacks? Hand size, big deal. Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Every time I shake his hands come all the way to here, all right? But hand strength for you. Supposedly, a couple of the websites had you the strongest hands of all the receivers in the whole NFL. How does that?
How did they determine?
Yeah, how did they determine that? I mean, you nearly break my hand every time I talk to you.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I guess it's just the way I attack the ball. I think, and I got a couple texts from coaches like that. I like the way you attack the ball in film, just going after the ball and showing that you're going to come down with it in any contested catch situation. I think that's what is huge in the NFL is, the gaps of being open narrow down to maybe half a yard, that's open, or maybe somebody draped on you, you're open as long as they're not looking at the quarterback. So I think where they determine that is a lot of contested catches, and that's where I showed
we're not going to get into that, huh? Mm-hmm. We're not going to get into contested catches and what's a catch and what isn't a catch. The man can put his hands on the ball and you got to tuck it and you catch it.
Well, was there anything at the combine that tested hand strength?
There wasn't strength, there was hand size, and I think I was second on as far as receivers came for that. So we didn't do any squeeze or anything like that. Maybe I was just giving good handshakes that day.
Here, Trent, take care of this grapefruit. And let's
really.
Anyway,
is there a guy kind of in the draft that you see as, okay, this is about where I'm going to go in comparison, or somebody you're looking forward to kind of kick off the receivers portion?
It's tough because I don't think, like I said, I don't think anybody's like me in this draft. I don't think I really can compare myself directly to anybody in the NFL. I think really what we're looking at is trying to get those, top, what they considered the top 6 to 8 receivers. We need to get them going as soon as possible, and that'll just keep on moving me up. So really, if there could be 10 receivers drafted in the first round, that's what kind of we're looking for to move me up, because I could just keep on sliding up the draft boards if that happens. But I can't really compare myself to anybody in the draft.
Yeah, Trey, this is again another one of those loaded questions from Cerro, but. There's been some things, and everybody can scan the information, but New England comes to mind, and I'm gonna follow that up. But Atlanta, Chicago, 49ers, teams that show interest in you. But that could be anywhere on the board. But New England, you know, Danny Amendola, free agency. You know, we all know Bill Belichick likes that, you know, slot guy that can do a lot of things over the middle and in possession. I assume you've got representation. Your people, your camp. Did anybody a little tweet in the ear saying, you know, I think it could be New England. I think Belichick in New England's got interest.
I think everybody's looking to that because I guess I'm the prototypical guy for him.
Yeah.
But I could go before they expected me to get drafted. So no matter how much they may like me, if I'm not there to pick, they can't have me. You know what I mean? So there's been interest and there's been, you know, communication and workouts and whatnot. But yeah, they're definitely.
Did you make a trip there? Did you go to New England?
I didn't make a trip there, but I did work out for them a little bit. Got to talk to them.
I remember.
And,
you worked out for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll come down and work you out, put you through everything, and I think I nailed it. I think that was one of the best workouts I had. So.
What part of the coaching staff did that for New England?
It was just a receiving coach. Will come down. Some others may be OC. I guess just depending on your draft stock, you'll have your OC, maybe GA, GM. I mean, and anybody that wants to sit down, I think they can sit down.
You said you nailed it. How do you know when you nailed a workout? What do you know what they're looking for?
I was catching everything. I was just going out there doing my thing. No, I think what they wanted to see if I knew football, like I said earlier, is being able to just they'll teach you something in the classroom and then see if you can go out there and you know, remember it and just actually run the routes that they just taught you. So that's where I think I shine, is being able to learn something real quick and just go out there and do it.
The question for a lot of kids coming out of college is, do you want to go early, make the money, go to a little bit later, and go to a team you like that has a chance to win? Does it matter to you that much, or are you looking for opportunity to play?
I'm just looking for opportunity to play. Really, I think where the money is the second contract, you know, 4 years later. So I just get in there and do what I know I can do, and worry about the money, I guess, in 4 years from now.
One final question for Trey Quinn.
I got one for him, too.
My final question, then. Mental preparation. Where are you mentally this week? Are you like,
oh, man.
You're going to a Barb baseball game.
Yeah.
And you're going to watch the Barb state playoff game.
Yeah.
So you have to be calm. You're a pretty cool, calm, collected, but where are you? I mean, is your gut getting kind of twisted? Will it be butterflies come Thursday?
I think come at least maybe Thursday I'll be more relaxed. Friday, Saturday I'll be, you know, on the couch just biting my nails. Right. Up until then, I really just enjoy watching, you know, my brother play ball, so I'm going to go check him out. Hopefully they get a dub tonight and keep on moving on. But just little things like that to keep my mind off it. I have some good buddies that try and distract me from anything that's going on. We'll play golf, just anything like that, maybe fish. But they do a better job than I do of keeping me distracted.
So you'll watch it at home, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This is a little off topic from Trey, but it's the overall draft. When you left LSU, DJ Chark hadn't really emerged as their alpha receiver, and he really did to a degree last year and really this year. Would you have seen that coming from your days spent with him?
That's tough because, I mean, he showed the athleticism when he was there. He looked like, I don't know, like a newborn deer kind of, you know, running around. But I guess once I left, it kind of opened everything up for him because I think we had 4 receivers leaving the past 2 years. Yeah. So kind of just he had to step up and do something. But he came in a long way. If you could see him the first day, it was if you show me them side by side, it's crazy. But he definitely made you know, a heck of an improvement.
So what you're saying is he was very raw.
Very raw.
Yeah.
Very raw.
All right. Trey, have a great time this week. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the baseball, and we wish you the best of luck.
No, thank you.
It's an exciting time for the Quinn family in regards to getting ready for the NFL draft, and we'll be in touch. So,
for sure.
You know, don't eat too many ice cream bars or anything like that.
Yeah,
right? Keep that weight down. Keep those hands strong. Trey Quinn getting ready for the NFL draft later this week. We'll take a short pause. When we come back, we'll sink our insights into what the New Orleans Saints will do come draft day. Stay right.
Soundoff60 is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at LeBear's Casino Resort. The boys in the box will be right back.
For nearly 85 years, Merchants and Farmers Bank has provided dependable personal banking for Central and Southwest Louisiana. I saw your new boat last week, Chuck. Looks like fun. We have 8 convenient locations, checking and savings accounts, online bill pay, mortgage and personal loans, even a new app that allows you to take a picture of your paycheck and deposit it. Can't wait to see your kitchen remodel, Pam. Come in today to open a personal account. Merchants and Farmers, your future begins with our history.
You don't have to sacrifice taste to stay in the game. Miller Lite, always brewed to have more taste and be less filling. Miller Lite, hold true.
Enjoy a more reliable, responsible, intelligent, and connected indoor environment that easily adjusts to your preferences, no matter where you are. Uncompromising, unmistakable. Luxair. Get connected with a Luxair dealer near you by visiting luxair.com/solar supply.
Only one light beer has more taste, less calories, and half the carbs. This one. Miller Lite. Hold true.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you notice that Kevin Guidry is not here, he is off running around on assignment, living life large, having fun somewhere. You're going to say on assignment.
He's out preparing for the combine.
Second career, huh? For his
Second combine.
CBS's Channel 17, Jim Gazzola is sitting in, and we always love having Jim around to talk about big subjects, and we got a big subject that we're going to get into, the New Orleans Saints and yet another NFL draft. Gentlemen, I said it last year, I don't know how many times. It was the greatest draft in the Saints franchise history. Maybe one of the greatest drafts in NFL history.
Up until the last play.
Wait, hold on.
Up until the last play of the game.
All right, the last play. All right, I know it was a rookie mistake. The production of those drafts, they got 5
They had great
starters
production
out of that draft.
So we're going to assume they're going to do that every year now.
No.
They had arguably, what, 3 or 4 years of bust drafts before
No,
that?
the year before was pretty good. The year before, they got Michael Thomas.
It started getting better.
It started getting better.
They had 4 or 5 before that where...
I can't argue with that, but they hit some home runs last year. I mean, Sean Payton, in the interviews I've seen, it's pass rush, rusher, and need wide receiver help. Where do you think the need is greatest?
Well, it's not a wide receiver because they could send the 3 of us down there and Drew Brees would
Here we
make
go.
us-
Well, they picked up a free agent.
I would say they need an impact end rusher.
Yeah.
Either that being an end or a linebacker.
Which is what everybody's looking for.
Yeah.
My take on the
Especially
Saints in a nutshell is this is a pretty well set team right now.
It is.
They have the
it is.
luxury of going after needs. They don't necessarily have to take best available
They
outlet,
should
or
take
they
best
can.
need.
Or they can.
Yep.
Because it's a team without a lot of glaring needs. They were pretty well
Would you go
set
Lamar Jackson if
and
he's
didn't
there?
have-
No.
They've talked about it.
No.
How many more
I've
years are you
heard
giving
other
Drew Brees?
people talk about it.
I think Drew Brees has a good 3, maybe 4. I really do.
I
He
do
stays
too.
healthy.
And when he retires, they shut the franchise down.
Well,
I mean,
Hobbs is
Payton
trying
leaves
to-
town?
Hobbs is trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny. Then you guys don't believe what Sean Payton was saying, and was he blowing smoke, that he has the heir apparent on the bench?
I don't think the heir apparent, if he was really there, is running down covering kicks.
I wouldn't think so. But they're very high on the guy. He's 26, 27, 28, former BYU guy.
So now he's 30, 31
I don't
when
know,
you're
but,
giving Drew
but,
Brees
you know,
up.
they're very high. All right, so no, I don't
So
think
you're looking for his replacement the first year he gets a starting
3 or 4
job.
years.
well, that's when Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
By the time he's 35.
27th pick in the first round, no second round, third round, couple of fourths, 5, 6. They got 8 picks. 8 picks in, say, 7 rounds. They got a lot of numbers there. They don't have a second rounder yet, but they can make some. We don't know what's going to happen on draft day. We just don't know. But edge rusher is, and I always look for linebacker depth. I always think they need more depth at linebacker.
Well, you have to assume that they think they've covered the middle pretty good. So I think they're going to go outside and look for somebody that can come off the edge and kind of cause some havoc.
I would always look for that edge rusher.
Yep.
And with the Saints, and they're pretty well set in the secondary.
Yeah. If everybody says
But
that. They got
gosh,
Patrick Robinson back.
these Saints always have so many injuries in the secondary.
Yeah, they do.
I would always take a DD.
If you got somebody there, yeah. I just don't know what's going to be available that they need. and how high I would rank. I would not go reach for a guy. In other words, I wouldn't take an end rusher just because that's projected at 38 or 39, just because I need one.
The last 2 years they've taken Ohio State Buckeyes in the first round. Michael Thomas and the cornerback. There's a guy out there. Help me out, Jim. Sam Huffman, I think his name is.
The lineman?
Defensive end.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's had good luck with Ohio State players, no doubt.
Yeah,
they have.
Let me throw this at you. Tight end. I like the re-signing of Ben Watson. Steady, good locker room guy, high character guy.
He's older than Breeze, though. isn't he?
He's getting up there. He's getting
and
up
I
there.
love Watson.
Oklahoma's Andrews, Mark Andrews, I think his name is one of the best in the country. They need a tight end.
They do.
They flirted with the possibility of re-signing Jimmy Graham, but the money was just too out there. They need a tight end too.
Where are you going to go to get one, though? Is he going to be available? Tight ends, there's only 2 or 3 usually that are even used in college anymore.
Yeah.
That's true, and I heard that all last year. But it seemed to me the Saints tight ends played pretty well last year.
I just
without they weren't all pro. Physiques or speed, and certainly not a Jimmy Graham, but the tight ends played fine. Again,
you know who
Drew
filled that
Brees
void?
was throwing.
You know who filled that void and made that position? This may sound goofy to you guys, but Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Because they could do so much with Kamara. All right.
Now that's what they have
to have. They didn't look for tight end as much.
Kamara basically filled the
Darren Sproles
spot.
Slot.
And look how
wide,
much they missed Darren Sproles until they got Kamara there.
I still think they need a tight end, and we'll see how that lays out.
Kind of Reggie Bush.
I think you're reaching for a tight end at 27 unless somebody falls to you.
I'm just saying that, and Andrews.
That's
is
one of the top 2 or 3 fall to you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that. All right. We know the needs. We know this. We know that. They picked up. Sean Payton said, I need help at wide receiver. What do you know about Cameron Meredith from Chicago? Injured a lot. You're a big Bears guy.
Good hands, runs great routes. I think the Bears wanted to keep him, but I think after a year and a half of injuries, they have to worry about Kevin White already being injured.
Yeah.
They didn't want to take a chance on 2 guys. I think he's a good player. I as a fan, I kind of wanted to see him bring him back at the right price, but you can't really do that if he hasn't played in a year.
Is he a type of receiver or type of talent that, okay, now all of a sudden Loomis and Payton can sit back and say, we got Meredith. Maybe.
He's a combination guy. He's an underneath guy. He'll play a lot of things for you.
He's not going to run away from anybody, you said.
And especially after the leg injury. We haven't seen him come back from that, so you'd have to really do your due diligence on that. But I never saw him as a get-deep guy. I saw him as a control guy.
All right, so in the next segment, we're going to talk a lot of quarterback. Are you, either one of you guys are saying they need to start looking seriously at a quarterback for Brees now?
Depends on what's there. I don't know, because this is the first year we saw
there's a lot of quarterbacks
roulette
out
with
there.
the free agency, though. We've never seen that before. So maybe you go free agency in 4 years with a quarterback.
Yeah, that's the way I would think. I mean, how much is a quarterback going to play behind Brees? How are you going to know if you have his successor?
And I think Brees, I'm serious, 3 or 4 years for Brees if he stays
healthy.
But
what about getting a Lamar Jackson? Have him play another spot for 2 or 3 years, learn the offense.
He's been pretty adamant.
That's out there. That's out there, Jim. That's out there.
Maybe I'm doing the analytics of football now.
I don't know.
Shouldn't do that.
I like what they have on the top end of this draft, but the Saints can't get them. So I don't see him doing that this year. I really. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about all those quarterbacks and who's going to go where and how much fun this draft is going to be. We got LSU baseball, McNeese baseball on tap as well. So stay right there. We're coming back in about 2.
Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at La Berge Casino Resort, home of soundoff60. Round 5 with the boys coming up.
It's triple-digit season out here. Now, chances are you won't crack open a light beer and suddenly find yourself in the middle of a crazy yet refreshing snowstorm, where a bunch of bikini models bring out more light beer to some crunchy classic rock riff. Nah. And anyways, you brought your own snow, and bikini models, and plenty of Shiner Light Blonde. Nice.
For nearly 85 years, Merchants and Farmers Bank has provided dependable personal banking for Central and Southwest Louisiana. I saw your new boat last week, Chuck. Looks like fun. We have 8 convenient locations: checking and savings accounts, online bill pay, mortgage and personal loans, even a new app that allows you to take a picture of your paycheck and deposit it. Can't wait to see your kitchen remodel, Pam. Come in today to open a personal account. Merchants and Farmers, your future begins with our history.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you missed it earlier, we had Trey Quinn, former LSU SMU wide receiver, on the show talking about his preparation for the NFL draft. If you missed any of the interview and Trey Quinn in the fourth chair tonight, you can watch it on our rebroadcast all week, 9 o'clock, Channel 4 on Suddenlink cable system all across Southwest Louisiana, or our website. You see it advertised on the show all the time. Check it out on the website as well. Jim Gazzola filling in for Kevin Guidry. Jim from CBS Channel 17. Quickly, what's going on with the show Eye on Sports Southwest Louisiana?
Hiatus.
You're on a bit of a hiatus. Okay, all right. See, you can take a vacation. We can't. We got to come at you every week.
I'm actually doing more writing for them actually on their website right now. So.
Excellent. Good. Glad to have you aboard here. Let's get in. Let's sink our teeth into this NFL draft. All the quarterbacks, man. You mentioned Mason Rudolph. All right, Lamar Jackson. Don't let me forget a name. Josh Allen. Wow. Josh Rosen. Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield. I'm going to spend about 20 seconds on Baker Mayfield. All those names. Will these
Why on Baker Mayfield?
You'll hear it. You got all these names. Will these names be attached to Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, Johnny Manziel?
Couple will.
Huh?
But a couple will.
I mean,
somebody's going to be.
Somebody's going to get burned.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to lose a job over it. That's the way this thing is. Yeah. That's why if I was Cleveland, I'd do something bizarre. If I don't love all of them, I'd take the kid from Penn State first as the running back.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
I'd take Saquon Barkley and say, which quarterback falls in my lap?
And there is, and who's quarterbacking the Cleveland Browns?
Tyrod Taylor is
Tyrod Taylor.
Playoff guy last year.
All right, come on. They're going to take
When you
a
walk into the Browns franchise, do they just have all these 30 tombstones of failed quarterbacks?
It's pretty much. It's long. I mean, the last great quarterback they've had is Bernie Kosar.
Think about if you're a quarterback, one of these young quarterbacks, especially the two from L.A. They get a chance. Giants are sitting at 2, Jets are sitting at 3, chance to go to New York, prime time, big lights, or Cleveland.
Yeah. All right. What you get? I say the Browns go. I can't believe, even though everything I've seen on the mocks, I cannot believe they'll go with the guy from Wyoming, Josh Allen.
They're going to go Sam Darnold.
Nothing against him. I just cannot believe they're going to.
They're going to go Sam Darnold.
I think they're going to go Sam Darnold.
Allen's too much of a reach for them.
Yeah, I really do. I really do.
But he may be the best. He may be the best thrower.
Maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't know. All right.
They're not winning anything for 4 or 5 years.
I know, you're right about that. Cleveland's got a lot of talent. Jarvis Landry is now in Cleveland. They got
a defense.
Yeah, they've got some stuff there. Number 2, the New York Giants. Do they take an heir to Eli Manning, who's 37 years old?
Probably so.
You know, it cost a guy a job his last year when they tried to sit him last year. It cost a couple people their jobs.
New coach, Pat Shurmur. What does he do? But does he go with that Barkley, who is the end all of the running game? What do you think? Because everything falls with the Giants.
I'd trade the pick.
Really?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Why?
Again, Gazzola, you're nuts.
Trade down 6 spots for a second draft pick? What if you could get 2 from the Buffalo Bills, 2 first rounds?
No.
I don't know. I think I'm with him.
Really?
I get 12. I get 12 and 18.
I really think they're going Josh Rosen, Barkley or Rosen. I really do. But that's me. All right.
I'd take Chubb over any of them if I'm going to take somebody.
Then we get to number 4. How good is this guy? I've only in North Carolina State. I've only seen clips, and is he the brother of? He's the brother of the Georgia running back.
Younger brother.
Holy smokes, they got some talent in that family.
It's a family that's going to have some money come Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of money. All right, so again, will 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10?
Yeah.
Top
10?
What do you think, Hob?
I haven't studied which 10 teams those are.
Denver's in there,
but I
49ers,
think,
Oakland.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, first half of the draft,
Yeah.
certainly.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just have this gut hunch. The Oklahoma kid grows up and he ends up being the best of the bunch.
The best of the bunch?
Yes.
Does it cause, you have not been on this show a little bit, and I've rant and raved about Baker Mayfield, okay? Every time I see that police video, I'm thinking, wow. And I know, young,
He
you
was
can make
20
mistakes.
years old, but yeah.
I know that. But the thing that he is,
He
the things
has
that
that-
he said, he's risky.
I
He's just
know.
risky.
And he is. But on the field, he has that it factor.
No question about it. No
And
question about
you
it.
want the it. You
said
about
Johnny
strength.
Manziel
I
had the it
did.
factor.
Okay, I'm not
And he
always
still may.
right.
He still
He
may.
still might. It's
Don't
just
give up
taking
on
him a little longer to grow
stick,
up.
You stick a microphone in front of a kid at 20, you give him everything in the world, and then you say, what happened to him?
Yeah.
They're
But
different
I
people
just-
at 25.
gentlemen.
They're
I
different
mean, NFL.
He does to me, and more than strong arm or escapability, I want that it factor in my quarterback, and I think that kid might have it.
All right, so you're big on Mayfield. You like Darnold. You and I at least agree on that. Sam Darnold.
I think he'll be number one, but I don't think he'll be the best when it comes down to it. I think Allen's going to be the best.
Really?
Yeah.
In years to come.
In years to come.
What was the other USC quarterback? Matt Barkley, was it?
Matt Barkley still kicking around the NFL.
Yeah. Does Darnold kind of remind you a little bit of that, or just?
I think actually Barkley had a better college career.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
The Darnold question is always going to be the interceptions. Each one of these guys has problems. Allen doesn't always throw on target. Barkley throws into traffic. Mayfield off the field, and Rosen has now concussion issues. So, but you got to gamble on somebody because you have to have one or you don't win.
The NFL is driven by the position of quarterback. All right, gentlemen, we'll leave it at that. When we come back, we'll talk LSU baseball, McNeese baseball, and we might get back on LSU spring game. So stay right there. We're coming right back.
Soundoff60 is brought to you by our friends at Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at La Berge Casino Resort. Soundoff60 24/7 online at soundoff60tv.com.
For more taste, less calories, and half the carbs, there's only one light beer to grab. Miller Lite. Hold true.
For nearly 85 years, Merchants and Farmers Bank has provided dependable personal banking for Central and Southwest Louisiana. I saw your new boat last week, Chuck. Looks like fun. We have 8 convenient locations, checking and savings accounts, online bill pay, mortgage and personal loans, even a new app that allows you to take a picture of your paycheck and deposit it. Can't wait to see your kitchen remodel, Pam. Come in today to open a personal account. Merchants and Farmers, your future begins with our history.
On or off the field, training and experience matter. As a board-certified and fellowship-trained surgeon, Dr. Brett Cassio has the training and experience to help you get back in the game. Award-winning research, the latest orthopedic techniques, right here at home. Cassio Sports Medicine.
You don't have to sacrifice taste to stay in the game. Miller Lite, always brewed to have more taste and be less filling. Miller Lite, hold true.
All right, it has been fun without Kevin Guidry. We love Kevin, but it's always good to have you here because we can get more words in. Appreciate that, Jim. But jump in anytime you want. Squash Hobbs. Just squash him, all right?
Economy of words.
You can't squash the franchise.
Can't squash the franchise. Boy, that's a former colleague for you. All right, before we get into some baseball talk, quickly on LSU, top player pick will be Darius Geis, first-round running back. Arden Key. I'm reading.
Arden Key fell off the map.
What?
I mean, it's almost to the point to me. And his defense.
He's a pass rusher.
He wasn't healthy last year. He really wasn't.
There's that. He did not have a good combine. He didn't run well at the combine, whether he was healthy or not. And you still have a lot of you have question marks of where he was, what happened to him during those months he wasn't at LSU.
Well, I'm sure that came.
Well, somebody's going to take him. Don't get you.
Oh yeah,
But I thought at least second round. But
he reminds me. He reminds me a lot of the guy from Nebraska, Gregory, that went to Dallas and had the off-field question marks.
Okay.
He's been a pretty good pro, but he didn't go in the first round because of that.
What was the other LSU? Barcavius Mingo went to the
Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah.
Is it a little maybe? Is he getting lumped with Mingo?
maybe, but Mingo, he didn't become an all-pro, but I wouldn't call Mingo.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying he's a bust.
Yeah.
But he was already
Somebody's
first
going to
round.
take Key, and somebody's going
Mingo
to
was
be, and
taken
we'll see
by
what
the
he
Browns
does.
at like the 6th pick that year.
Yeah.
I mean, he went very, very high.
He won't
I'm
go
a
there.
little curious. I love Geis. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, and Geis runs as hard as any running back I have ever seen. I really, and I watch both of them closely, I don't see much difference between Fournette and Geis. And Fournette was the 5th pick, 6th
No, but
pick
he
last year.
is a bigger size.
Yeah.
And NFL like size.
But Geis runs bigger than he is.
I give you that, Hops. He does. He does.
I do not understand why Geis isn't a sure first rounder. He may
Oh,
go in
he'll
the
go.
first
He's
round.
gotta go in the first
He'll
round.
go late
No, I don't
first
think.
round.
I
don't think he's a
most
sure.
of them are thinking
Really?
early second for him.
But that's because we've basically said running backs don't matter.
Yeah, but
and I
that's
think they do.
changed a little bit.
Little
I
bit.
think it's, yeah.
That's
I think
changed
it
a
is.
little bit in the last few years.
All right, quickly. Interested in your thoughts on this because you follow the NFL like I do. How big of a gap between Barkley and Geis?
Not as much as you think.
I don't think
based
so
on Barkley could do, he can do more because he was asked to do more.
Exactly. He's bigger than I thought. Though.
But
He was about 230. I
that's
thought
the
he was small.
that's the question you always have. That's why there are surprises every year.
Yeah, I like Darius Geis. I think he's going to be a great pro. Other LSU guys,
too.
The backfield, Tolliver, Jackson, good players. These guys are going to go. They're third, second, third, and then the offensive line. You got 3: Clapp, Weathersby, and then
later.
Malone.
Well, I think
Malone
Scooter
signed.
hit, Scooter hit the guy to me in the conversation. The wide receiver, DJ.
Chark.
Oh, Chalk. Yeah.
I think he has a chance for somebody to take.
Huge upside.
Yeah.
You mean like
And he's
first round
big. It's
possible?
like,
I don't think he'll go first
probably
round
not
because of
first, but I think he definitely should be second.
Yeah, he hasn't put
Wow.
enough on tape to be first, but he is.
Wow.
One deal I saw when I was researching Trey, I think Chark, in one deal I saw, he was like the 4th highest receiver. He's like 6'4".
Yeah.
I mean, he's got.
Well,
He ran the fastest time at the combine.
Speed and size. Speed and size. All right, let's move quickly. Let's get into some baseball. LSU. A lot of LSU players are going to be taken, along with a lot of Alabama players. A lot in the SEC, obviously. Those Georgia guys, I don't know how many guys they're going to go in the draft. Let's start with McNeese. Boy, what a run. What a run. 5 of their last 6. They sweep UNO the week before. They take 2 out of 3 against Northwestern State. They're hitting the ball all over the park, and they're getting good pitching. They're getting good bullpen.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we talk about putting together runs. Is it too early? Is it too early, though? I mean,
not too early. A lot of it is who you're playing.
yeah, well,
They better have gotten it going the way they started.
But you got to remember, a lot of it
They're
is
tied
who
for
you're
second now
playing,
in the
when you're
Southland.
playing them.
Yeah.
But it's, they have their biggest weekend coming up,
Yeah.
so it's a pretty good time to be putting it together.
You're right.
You don't want to wait 2 weeks
Yeah,
right now.
if you're watching our show, they're going to be in Monroe, UL Monroe, but then over the weekend, #1 Sam Houston. They're tied for second right now with Southeastern, but #1 Sam Houston comes into Lake Charles.
I do question if there's any such thing as momentum in baseball, though. That can
all about
just
your pitcher.
turn overnight.
Where does LSU's momentum, in particular,
Well,
on the road?
look at this.
In particular,
look at
on
this.
the
A
road.
week ago, LSU was rolling, had a big comeback to finish a sweep. Well, there's the turning point of the season. Now, the sky's falling.
Like again, the sky's falling.
I mean, it was really the opposite of the previous week, where the previous week, LSU kicked butt first 2 games, great, unlikely comeback in the 3rd game.
Yeah.
They got their butts totally kicked first 2 games this week, and then totally collapsed to let South Carolina. I mean, their pitching just totally collapsed over the weekend, except for the biggest question mark going into the weekend with who would start Sunday. And Nick Bush goes out there, first ever SEC start, and gives them 5 shutout innings on 3 hits.
Yeah.
So.
A lot
Now,
of
Maneri was saying today, That sounds good. Got a Sunday starter. But you saw how much the bullpen misses him.
Yeah, good point. All right, in our final minute, Jim, I don't know when we're going to see you again, Jim. I can knock on your door and ask you questions. You know, I'm not going to do that. You know, LSU, back to LSU football. Now, I'm going to pose this question to you. I know we got a lot of time early. But is this a team of what you saw and what you know and what we've all been talking about? Is this a team that will struggle to get 6-7 wins this year?
No, they'll get 6 wins.
8?
No, I think you're looking at 8. They'll get 6 wins. Come on.
If Gidger was here, his head would explode. You're saying they'll get 6 wins.
Yeah, they're scheduled in 6 wins. I think they're going to have trouble getting 8. I think 8-4 is about right. I think Miami's a real tough start for a new quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at their schedule. You got Miami, you got Florida, you got, is it Georgia this year?
Georgia,
Alabama, Auburn, A&M. We'll see with Jimbo. That's 5 right there. That's pretty tough.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in the sky is falling, but this is a team that's.
Well, it's as much about
transition.
it is as much about the schedule as the talent at LSU right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is a murder schedule
Yeah.
that they're going to play.
With a
rookie quarterback.
This is
rookie offensive coordinator.
This is the year. Maybe they should have been playing BYU to open the season like last year.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. I pointed out. Don't put too much in spring games. You know, don't fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they certainly hadn't solved the quarterback. It wasn't a problem last year. I thought Edling played pretty good. I don't know. I only see one running back, and it's nothing like Geis.
No,
he can be okay, but he's nothing like
with that schedule. It's hard with one.
Oh yeah.
I'm just.
Now, defensively, I think they're fine. They're going to.
I think Miami might. You know, you could see Miami as a playoff team. Definitely see Alabama as a playoff team. Georgia as a playoff team. I mean, that's
Murderer's Row right there. All right, Jim, we appreciate it as always. All right, Jim Gazzola from CBS Channel 17. Kevin Gidger will be back next week. Thanks to Trey Quinn for joining us for a good portion of the show. A lot of fun. Big week, NFL draft, always one of my favorite weeks, and there's going to be a lot of drama and a lot of stories, so we're going to be following that. All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll do it again all next time.
Soundoff 60 airs on Suddenlink Cable Channel 4 Monday through Sunday nights at 9 and again Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10. Soundoff 60 also airs throughout Southwest Louisiana on Vive Broadband Channel 6 at 9 p.m. Check your local listings. Post your questions and comments for the guys and access our website and our great advertising partners at soundoff60tv.com.